All right, Tim, it's nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you as well.
So, just before we start, I just want to go over a couple of things really quick. So everything that's going to be said between the two of us today is going to stay between the two of us, except for under three circumstances, okay? If I have a concrete reason to believe that you are at risk of harming somebody else, that you are at risk of harming yourself, or that somebody else is harming you. So does that sound okay to you?
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Okay, great. So what would you like to talk about today?
Well, recently, about 6 weeks ago, my father, he died. We don't really know how he died, but he passed away.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
It's been, I don't really know how to feel right now. He was in and out of my life, and he's had a drug problem for probably most of my life, and I certainly have not approved that behavior, but I don't know. He's still my father, so I don't know how to feel about it right now.
Mm-hmm. So you're feeling conflicted as to how to feel because you're having these sort of mixed feelings about your father.
Yeah, he was never he was always just sporadic. He was never really a concrete in my life, or for my mother as well.
Mm-hmm. So, do you mind if I ask what the cause of death was?
Yeah, they are not really sure right now. They're not sure. It was an overdose, but we don't know if it was accidental or if it was on purpose at this point.
Yeah.
It's still being checked.
Mm-hmm. So how is that sort of ambiguity in terms of, not knowing whether his death was intentional or not? Like, how is that making you feel?
It's just, I need the closure, I suppose. I really just want to get past this, because I don't know what demons he's dealt with, if it was suicide, but I don't know. The whole situation's still terrible nonetheless.
Of course. Yeah, I mean, no matter what, like, going through a loss is going to be difficult, you know? So, I want to let you know that, even though you are feeling very conflicted about this, like, all of the ways that you're reacting are perfectly natural. So, can you identify, like, any emotions that are coming up for you? Like, even just in regards to how you're feeling generally or how you're feeling right now?
Been very on edge lately. Like, nothing too serious, but like I'm just a little testy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just easily frustrated. It's just I have to assume it's part of that, but it's been a tough time.
Yeah. So what does this being on edge look like for you?
Like if I'm at class and someone does something that's just even mildly annoying, I just it's like I'll roll my eyes. I'll just be like, "Are you really?" I'll just snap.
Mm.
Like, not violently, just more of just like can you not, like, stuff like that, like just frustration.
Yeah. Yeah. So what I'm getting is that the loss that you're experiencing is having an effect on not only your personal feelings but also how you're reacting to others.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, they're not very big things. It's just little things. They'll just, I guess it would not normally bother me.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm noticing it.
Right. So these things that are happening wouldn't necessarily happen,
yeah.
A while ago
Yeah.
before all this has been happening.
Yeah. Even though he was like in a downward like spiral, I suppose, before that, but like obviously it's like it's a sudden. Still, nonetheless.
So, before your father's death, I know that you said that he was very in and out of your life, not very concrete and sort of inconsistent. So, what sort of feelings did you have towards him?
It's just, it's very mixed. Like sometimes, like if he'd be there for a special event, like you'd be there for graduation, you'd be there for an occasional birthday, but like I'd be happy because of the whole situation in general. But I just we get along. Obviously, I just felt like he wasn't exactly a father to me. Like I would still be disapproving of his actions. He's abusing drugs. Like I can't. It's something I really exactly can't look up to. And it's like my mom is someone I can look up to. She's always been there. So whenever I'm with him, it's just like feel like I don't know. It feels like a lost cousin, I suppose. Like, oh, I see you. Hey, how's it going?
Right.
It wouldn't really be like, oh, I love you, Dad. It wouldn't be anything like that. It wasn't anything too strong between us.
Right. So your relationship wasn't exactly like a father-son relationship,
Yeah.
as would be defined by societal norms.
Yeah, like a normal thing.
Okay. And so, how have you felt about that?
What do you like specific? Like when I don't understand.
Meaning, like, when you think about how your relationship with your father was very inconsistent, and how you sort of view it as like you said, like a cousin as opposed to a father. Like when you think about that, like what sort of feelings come up for you?
Definitely nothing positive. I would say again like frustration.
Yeah.
It's just, but like you can't always talk about it. It's like it's just reality, and you just go on. At least that's what I try to think about. But now everything's come to like a pass at this point.
Mm-hmm. So now, are you feeling, now that your father has passed, do you find yourself feeling differently than you had before?
There's definitely something missing. I feel like not a total emptiness, but obviously I feel something.
Mm-hmm.
Because, as I mentioned, he wasn't exactly a real father, but he's still like half the genetics for me. Like he's still important in that regard. So I still feel something about that, where like a part of me still is very frustrated with him, but like I still feel that connection because he's still my father,
Mm-hmm.
even though he hasn't been there like a father should be. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So one of the feelings that you keep bringing up is this idea of frustration, right?
Yeah.
And that has to be really difficult to be going through right now.
Yeah.
Because what I'm getting is that you sort of want to feel something a little bit more.
Yeah. And I feel like I vent this frustration through sport. I play rugby, but it's been over for 6 weeks. Like he died almost right after the season ended, so I had nothing to you as an outlet.
Right. You don't have any way of physically expressing these feelings.
Yeah, I'm just. I mean, my friends have comforted me, but like it's still like I still have to deal with it every night. They're gonna go, and then I still have to think about it nonetheless. I mean, they're still there. I appreciate them being there, but it's still rough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I totally understand what you're saying. It's really difficult to not have that outlet, and it's good that you have friends that are supportive of you, but it's totally understandable that it those that support can't necessarily replace or rather fix what you're going through.
Yeah.
So, what other things do you find helpful in terms of being able to do you know of anything else that you could use as an outlet?
Um, I mean, I play video games, but I don't know. I don't. It doesn't feel the same as like playing that sport. I don't know. It's different. I still enjoy it. It's not there. I mean, I still like to sing, but like that's I can only do that so much. I can't annoy everybody. So I don't
Did
know.
you say that you kind of annoy everybody?
I don't want to annoy everybody if I sing all the time.
What makes you think that you're going to be annoying everybody?
Because like I feel like it is annoying.
So like what gives you the impression that it's annoying?
I don't know. I feel like when other people sing, I can be annoyed by it. So like I don't want other people feeling that like annoyance. So I'm just gonna just like just chill.
Okay. So when you're saying that other people singing can annoy you,
Yeah.
so has that always been the case? Because I remember you saying a little while ago that you've been very on edge, and
Yeah.
that sort of the little things that other people do can sort of push you. So has this annoyance always been the case, or do you think that it's been more so enhanced recently?
I mean, it's still. I feel like that's kind of been consistent, just because it's always the same person.
Mm.
It's just like a terrible singer. That's the reason it's annoying. It's like constant. It's just,
Yeah, I totally get that.
yeah,
That makes sense.
it lives right near me.
Mm.
Like we're like our rooms are like this and this, so it's hard to like avoid that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But like I still like I'm in the car, I'm driving to work or something, or I'm driving if I don't want to walk. But I still bump, you know. I'll still have my headphones in. Like that's still always a good outlet, especially like other like I feel like an empathy with rap because like I feel like some of them get it,
Yeah.
like they've dealt with that, like or at least not like some of them, or like say they've dealt with something where they're missing something and like I can empathize with them. So like if I'm walking to class or if I'm in the car, I'll still just be listening even if I can't like sing it out.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so you find it helpful to be listening to music, like to which you can with which you can empathize
Yeah.
in terms of what you're feeling and how the person who's making that music has been feeling about a similar sort of topic.
Yeah. I like to look at their biography too, like especially if I hear something and I like, oh man, I really feel that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh man, like Eminem is a good example. Like his father was never in his life.
Yeah.
So, and then, but like, I guess he has a different relationship with his mother than I do. But there's still the point remains where there's still that feeling.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you mentioned that Eminem has a different relationship with his mother than you do.
Yeah.
So what is your relationship with your mother like?
She's really good to me. Like it's almost too good to me. She's been dealt a tough hand as well, and as I've grown older, I've definitely come to appreciate her more. Like she's definitely my rock almost. Like I'm like very necessary, and then I'm just trying to like help her out because as much as I can, with anything I can possibly do.
Right.
It's like we were almost in the same boat together. It's different, you know. Like she still got the short end of the stick, and it's tough.
Mm-hmm. Well, first off, I think it's great that you're taking the time to help your mom through this really difficult time, right?
Yeah.
So, how has she been reacting? Like, what sort of things have you seen change in her recently?
She's definitely, I wouldn't say distant, but she's definitely not as like outgoing as normal. Like I feel like she's still going through a rough time. It's still a very, I don't want to say important because like I don't want to say that, but like this is still a very key person in her life. Like it's very been with us at least 20 years, you know. So I feel like she's still like there's still something empty there where like I can't exactly know how she feels. Like we don't really like talk about it at home, but like it's I have like I can only imagine from my perspective as well, like someone who's just there, like a cousin or like like a friend almost, like just not like a father or a husband should be.
So how does it feel for you to be thinking about the ways in which your mom has been handling or feeling after the death of your father? Like how does that make you feel to think about that sort of stuff?
Like how does it make me feel knowing? I'm sorry. Can you like?
Oh no, that's fine. Like so you were talking about how your mother is having difficulty with this and how you've been trying to help her with that.
Yeah.
So how does it make you feel to know that she's struggling and to know that she's having difficulty with this?
I guess I don't want to say frustration again, but like it's like I want to do as much as I can. There's only so much, and like I don't always want to be up in her business.
Mhm.
Like she still needs time to like relax or just like unwind, and like I don't want to. I'll give her time.
Right.
So like I still like want to be there, but yeah, it's just like I still want to do more, and like it's
Mhm.
almost for my sanity as well.
Right.
It's like I want to keep helping, do something, keep the time going.
Well, I think it's great that you seem very dedicated to helping her because that shows a lot of admirable qualities, within yourself, which I think is wonderful.
Thank you.
But do you feel as if this added concern that you're having for your mother? Do you feel as if that's affecting you?
Definitely more tired lately. I
Mm.
guess now that you bring it up, it's it's been a lot, you know. And so like I feel pretty crappy. Like I can only imagine how she feels. So like we don't want to, like I said, we don't like talk about it. But it's just like I know that like there's definitely something missing in our relationship right now. But like I feel like we can work through it.
Okay. So how do you think that you might want to work through it?
Uh,
So sort of like in a perfect world,
yeah.
right? What ways would you want to help you and your mother work through this?
I don't know. I don't want to like really talk about it with her. It's like we're like like stereotypical Catholics keep everything in. Like I don't want to disrupt the bubble that exists. Like if I pop the bubble, then like God only knows what will flow out. So I mean, we still do our like normal thing, like where we like hang out Sunday, like we make food together, watch football, but like it's just one-on-one time. We don't really like I feel like neither of us wants to bring it up because I feel like it'll like bring it down the energy in the room, I suppose. And like I don't know, I feel like we both we're both like I guess that's two sides of the same coin, but we don't want to go to the other side. I guess
Right.
we don't. We not. Neither of us wants to take that step forward and like talk about it.
Hmm.
And I certainly don't want to do it. And I don't think she's will either. I think we're just gonna let it pass. But I don't know. But in a perfect world, I suppose talking it through a little bit, just like letting everything out, I feel like that would help.
Hmm.
But
Okay.
the rest,
So yeah. So what I'm seeing is also these feelings of conflict coming up again, right? So you said earlier that you were feeling conflicted as to how to feel about your father's death, but I'm also getting the sense that you're feeling conflicted as to how to handle it, especially in terms of helping your mother.
yeah, it's yeah, just I don't really know how to feel. That's all. Like
Yeah.
it's I wish it wasn't happening.
I mean, of course.
Yeah,
Right?
obviously, but it's interesting. I've really never experienced like loss like this. I feel like so.
Yeah, and especially the loss of a parent. That's so hard to deal with.
Yeah.
And I I want to emphasize again that these feelings of conflict and ambiguity and not necessarily knowing what to do, they're totally natural and totally normal
Yeah.
because it's an extremely difficult situation to be in. But I also think that as of right now, I think that you've got a really solid head on your shoulders, and I think that even you being willing to explore these feelings and explore how this sort of frustration and conflict is affecting you, I think that that's showing a lot of progress, and I think that that's showing that you are capable of moving past this, of moving through it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's. I appreciate. Thank you for those words. I really appreciate that. But yeah, I feel like one day at a time. It's the best way
Absolutely.
to look at it. It's just I just like to think through these things rationally.
Hmm.
It's just like listen to like what people say. Like, take it. Like don't just thank you for your son. Like I really truly listen, and I feel like it's helpful.
Yeah, and I think that taking it day by day is a really good way of looking at it, because you can't, it's not necessarily realistic to think that all of your problems are going to go away like that.
Yeah.
So I think that being willing and being able to take this in sort of a day by day process, like that's showing again that I think that you've got a good head on your shoulders.
Thank you.
And that so are you finding yourself willing to sort of continue working through this in a day by day process?
Yeah, I
Okay.
would like to do that.
Good. All right. So unfortunately, that's all the time that we have for now. But the next time we meet, I would love to continue going on this day by day process so that we can both work together to help you through what you're going through. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. No
I
problem.
appreciate that.